Welcome back. My name's Dave, and this is Farquhar Siding, my N-scale layout. And this is the start of a multiple episode of videos on a scratch build that I'm doing of the Farquhars. I'll just fade over here so you can see what I'm doing. Farquhars dairy, which is a dairy that has been around for, I think, since 1933, or I think it was earlier than that, but I think it actually was, the dairy itself was 1933. So we're going to build this, scratch build it, and I'm going to switch to camera 2, and there it is sitting there, and you get a better look in a minute of the building itself, because we're going to actually work on the building. Now, it is a sort of a rinse and repeat thing, so I did a lot of it ahead of time now, this time, but I did shoot some time lapse of me doing it, so we'll probably start with the time lapse, and then we'll go over and start working on the building proper. So let's go for that time lapse. So this is the building itself, and you see it's pretty well built already, but what I did is I left a section of it so I could just demo, you know, sort of live on camera what I do when I do these things. Now, the first thing I do when I scratch build something, especially if I can get a Google Earth image of the building from space, is I bring up the building, and then I use the measure function that's in Google Earth that allows your, is it Google Maps? It's Google Maps I'm using, not Earth, but I don't think it makes any difference. And then I measure off all of these, giving me feet. Then what I do is I take those feet and I take a set of calipers and my N-scale ruler, and I start measuring. So like 10 feet in N-scale. Now these are going to be rough measurements because I'm not, is almost 20 millimeters. It's 19.52. And then I transfer it to paper, and I do all the drawings and make basically a blueprint of the building. Once I'm finished with that blueprint, I then take all those facades, you know, fronts, backs, everything else, and I put them into Lightburn, which is my laser cutter software, and I then cut out all of the walls individually, and this is just the carcass. What we're going to do is cover it with all of the different textures. So this is brick, which will go on the front of the building and around, just around this corner a bit, and then this is board and batten, and it's going to go on here. I've ordered 2 sheets of concrete block that goes on this side, this side, this side. The back side is a board and batten again. It's a metal siding, and I might use modern metal siding because I've got quite a bit of that. And the way it's going to sit on the layout, you're not probably going to be able to see that anyway. So what I do then is, if the plastic is, if I can laser cut it, I do, because I have all these files now. So if I want to do this front wall, I just bring it up in the laser cutter and go ahead and cut. But the important thing is that now I'm measuring an exact building, because this front wall butts up against this one, and it also butts up against this one. So I always got to take into that 2.5 millimeter thickness of the plywood. It also means that my buildings are extremely durable. They're not going to fall apart, and it allows me to have beautifully flat surfaces where I can do the building and the painting and everything. So that you can see this is going to take us a little while. I've got to wait for some more board and batten to come in, and the concrete block textures. They haven't arrived yet, but when they do, we'll get to those right away. I might be able to do the back if I'm going to do it with the metal siding, because I've got lots of metal siding. There's lots of the buildings in metal siding. So let's just work on putting the little jut out that's on here. So this is how I do this. I've got a scrap of laser cut wood. Is that on the screen? Okay, I'm going to put it over here so it'll be on the screen. There we go. And I take Eileen's tacky glue, which by now, if you've watched a lot of the videos, you know is probably the only glue I use, mostly because of the word tacky. So I'm going to take this side of the building, which goes here. I'm just checking you can see. Hold on, I'm gonna adjust the camera. And can we zoom in? I don't know. I can't. Oh yeah, we can. Okay. So I'm going to take this wall. It's got a door opening in it. It butts up against the building this way. So we're going to take these triangles that I've made, grab a toothpick, and I'm going to apply some glue. I just want to make sure you can see me. Yeah, you can see it. Okay. And just apply this gusset to strengthen the building like that. Now I can take the glue and run it along the bottom, and this side where it butts up against the building, and along the bottom of the support, and it just goes in place. So I'm making sure that the wall itself is straight up and down and is flush with the building. I'm going to take another one of these, put some glue here, some glue here, and I'm going to put a piece in here like this, and that way I've got a nice square building like that. The next one goes on, and this one I've got to get right because it has a particular way it has to fit. Is it that way, or was it? No, it has to be this way. The reason this one's a little bit different is that it has a big pad at one of it, this little tank sits on. And the tank sits into the building. Fits like that into the building. So we're going to make sure that I get this one right, because same deal again. We're going to take a little bit of glue on the support. I'm going to put the support onto wood. And now glue it on the bottom. Glue along the side. And this is going to go, oops, missed one. Missed this one, which is important because it's the one that holds it. All right. And now you can see that the tank will fit in there like that. So again, grab another triangle, glue on the side. Now this is the reason I use tacky glue, because it is so tacky that you can get away with doing this without waiting for glue to dry before you put the next piece on. So here we'll go like that, and I'm just going to make sure they look like they're straight up and down. This is the front wall, and again I had to take into account the thickness of the wood. So we'll get some more tacky glue here. Now some of this I'm going to have to make up. I mean, I don't have a drone, so there's no way I know what the roof actually looks like. And the quality of the pictures in Google Maps isn't enough to tell me what kind of surface it is. It could be rolled roof, tar and gravel. It could be some kind of metal roofing, but I think most likely that it is a gravel and tar roof. So now we got that on there. So we get that, and now glue on 3 sides. Eileen's Tacky glue glues clear, and I do it this way because when it comes to putting the siding on, I want exact measurements. I want the overlaps to be correct. So get this right, and get a Q-tip here. I'm just going to wipe off the excess glue down at the bottom. And then the last thing to go on here is the roof. So, here we go. The roof sits on top of the structure. we go. This will sit right in there like that. I'm going to, when I do it, I'm going to putty it up a bit so it's there we go. All right. Now I'm going to give you a shot of what it looks like with the roof on. So the roof is just these big pieces of wood. They're braced underneath to keep them flat because when I was working with them, they weren't staying flat. And in a second, I'm going to go and switch cameras, and we will show you what this looks like. The roof will be the last thing that goes on the building. I want to put lights inside this thing, and so you can tell what's going on. All right, and it looks good at night. What happened here? Did I spin that? I did. I spun it right off. Okay, I'll put it on back. So now I'm going to lift this out, put it on here. And I got to remember what this little turntable is. USB, I think. Okay, hold on. Because the building is so solid, I can pick it up and manhandle it a bit. So what have we got? We've got the, okay, it's not the, so I'm just going to go get the USB adapter here and we'll be off to the races. I've got so many different workstations that there's USB-C. I think this is it. Yep, looks like it. Come on, get in there. Didn't you know it? It's not going to cooperate. There we go. And so that's the building carcass built. And I'm just going to double check that you're actually seeing a spinning building. Whoops. Would be spinning if it didn't run into some of my clamps. So now the next step is to clad all of this. And then once it's cladded, to paint what needs to be painted, which will mean a lot of masking of different areas of the building. It's an odd building. It is painted different colors on the same surfaces in different places. So it's, you know, it has its own personality, that's for sure. And so that's basically my process for scratch build, is to build the building as a plywood structure, and then to add the sidings and the facings that need to go on. The depth of the piece of the wood gives me the indents for the windows, so that the windows are recessed back from the siding on all of it. And there will be things like I've got to put in the doors for the loading dock. I've already cut the loading dock buffers out for that, and then I've got window treatments to put on. The building doesn't have very many windows. It has two large glass block windows at the front and a door, and then a window on the steps that lead up to the loading dock, and then there are three windows on the side that's coming around right now. You can see it, and it looks to me from the photographs that all those windows are blocked off because they're solid. They have solid white behind them. So that's how we're going to do it. Is do it that way. So I want to thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're doing good on subscribers, but I think that's all because I posted the mine on the was it super detailed N scale Facebook page, but it's also due to an individual who helped me get organized enough to make a Facebook page to get the pictures up, and I really appreciate what he's done for us and for my modeling. So as always, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and I'll see you next week with a new video. And then the week after is the week before Christmas, and I usually take the Christmas week and the New Year's week off. So there won't be another video after next week until January, the first week of January. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.